Hello everyone, Maryann here, revealing light, tarot, astrology and spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Thank you to everyone who put forward suggestions for my the arthritic joints that I have in the at the base of my thumb as a result mainly of a career in writing. Thank you so much for all your suggestions. I've read every one, whether you've emailed me or you've put them in the comments section. Thank you for your help. Some I have already I've already tried, I've already been doing. I was particularly interested in the injections of platelets, and some of you fed back on that, because that's the route I'm going to take, at least to buy me some time before surgery. Who knows? Maybe I will miraculously heal. A couple of people said, well, why don't you use your psychic abilities to tell you what to do with your thumbs? Well, I already have. I'm having platelet injections. But I definitely don't have a magic wand to wave. Thank you to those who are sending, speaking of magic, Reiki healing. Thank you to those that have sent me that. I'm also doing Reiki on myself as well. So I'm doing everything I can, but bodies wear out as we get older. I wish I had the wisdom that I have now, and the physical body that I had when I was 25 or thereabouts. But life doesn't work like that, does it? All right, let's get on. I want to say, before I start the reading, I want to particularly reach out to my American viewers today. It struck me over the weekend how much... Now, I don't want to belabor the point. I don't want to... I want people to rise, but it did strike me how much suffering there actually is in America as a result of what they see is being done that is absolutely contrary to the psyche of America. So we hear so much complaint, so much criticism and negativeness toward Americans, but that's not the American that I know on my channel, and it's not the American that voted for Harris and Walsh that got behind them in such a powerful way. It's the kindness and generosity of Americans that I want to focus on this morning, and acknowledge that you're hurting. These are not your actions. These are the actions of a perhaps an illegitimate president, someone who led an attempted coup, someone who really shouldn't be the president, and an unelected official in Musk and a lackey in Vance. And I just want to put it out there that I know that this is hurting you, these actions, and in a spiritual and a heart-centered way it is hurting, but also in a practical sense. Every action that Donald Trump takes that is disenfranchising America from the world, that's cutting America off from allies, whether it be Germans and Canadians arrested at the border, and with legitimate visas and taken for 2 or 3 weeks in shackles, on sleeping on concrete floors, whether it's that is happening that is causing also the tourism industry to plummet in America. Why would anyone travel with the risk of these were white tourists that were arrested? Like, it's crazy stuff. Why would anyone come to America under the circumstances? It seems that if on your social media you have anything detrimental to Trump, then you're arrested at the border, whether you've got a visa or whether you haven't, whether you're a tourist, whether you come from Australia, UK, Germany, France, Canada, and sometimes you're just arrested for good measure because you're Prime Minister or President or Chancellor has said something negative about Trump. It's that. And I know that Americans don't want that. Tourism is down between Canadians are just not travelling. Obviously, why would they if they could be arrested at the border and shackled? Tourism is down by 85%. Canadians are staying home. The UK, France, Germany, Europe are growing closer together. If you look, someone said, "Oh yes, but the far right is operating in Europe." Yes, in pockets, yes it is. However, if you look at the approval ratings in Europe and the UK of Trump and Musk, you'll find the disapproval is, in the 60s, 70s, and sometimes in the UK, I think it's higher than that. And so we get an idea of not only the world's reaction to what's going on in America at the moment, but also Americans reacting. What are we seeing? We are seeing those that voted for Trump regretting, not all, but some Trump voters wanting to take their vote back, really understanding what they've done now. We see a surge of support for any Democratic. I said, would Democratic Party rise again? And at 24 minutes, and I think it's around 30 seconds in that last video I produced, an orb, very visible orb came down, validating that the Democratic Party rises again. And it is. It is rising. The protests, I think it was 34,000 at AOC and Bernie Sanders' rally in Denver. Biggest, I think, political rally scene there, as if I read it correctly. A massive, massive rise. And AOC, I think I did a chakra reading on her when she first entered the Congress years ago. She is destined for great things. But Bernie Sanders, God bless him. 83 years of age, and look at what he's throwing himself into. This isn't about political ambitions for Bernie Sanders. He was asked if he was going to run again. He said, "I'm 83. I'm happy being the senator from Vermont. They re-elected me with 63% of the vote." And he said, "And I'm tired. And so despite all that, he's out there giving Americans what they want, a support and leadership, and presenting a new way forward, or a way, and also a way out of the mess. His oligarchy, beat the oligarchy tours are working. AOC, again, is showing Democrats how to fight. John Ossoff, the senator from Georgia, is out there speaking very forcefully and strongly. And so we see the younger members of the Democratic Party, those that aren't so comfortable in their long-time Senate or House seats, getting up and fighting. And yes, the Democratic Party is rising with plenty of talent and plenty of people that will come forward in 2028. All right, let's get on with so I just wanted to spend some time this morning to make those feel, whether you're independent voters, Democratic Party voters, never Trumper voters, Republicans who don't like the way what's being done in their country, whatever the cruelty. We know that those that were sent to Venezuelans who were sent to El Salvador prisons, we know there are non-gang members that have been imprisoned in brutal conditions down in El Salvador. Imprisoned, they were innocent. One was a barber, the other was a professional soccer player, arrested because of a tattoo, a Real Madrid tattoo that he had on his arm, and for giving this kind of signal, which of course many of the Republicans give. So innocent people rounded up. Mr. Khalil, the Muslim, his Syrian protester against Gaza, arrested. Where is free speech in America? So he is a green card, legal green card holder, and he's in America legally, yet still arrested. For what? for he was brokering negotiations between the student protesters in Colombia and the university. He was brokering negotiations. Okay. All right. So I guess we're going to start with AOC and Bernie Sanders. Perhaps AOC, we'll see where I did have a vision of her perhaps even, maybe running. I don't know whether she'll run as president or whether she'll be tapped on the shoulder maybe for a VP role. She's 35, so she would be very young to be in that role, but so is JD Vance. So we'll look at AOC's future. I want to know also whether Trump is going to go ahead and annex Greenland, and then also how's Canada going to fare. I want to say that Australia met with UK military heads, all gathered in the UK from Europe as well. Australia was among them. We really are looking at joint defence relationships now, which means we're moving away from the Trump government. We recently sold one of our over-the-horizon defence intelligence type of, well, it's not intelligence, it's a system that warns of any intrusions. We've just recently sold a system to Canada, and I think the UK is looking to buy one. We use it on the very isolated west coast of Australia, and it can look over the horizon to any defence threats. We also updated and signed a new military cooperation and defence pact with the UK. So we are getting serious about our defence needs here as well, minus so much focus on the Trump government, because everything is uncertain. Will Trump's actions and those of his attack dogs that are imprisoning innocent people, will they lead to a boycott of the US in the short term? Will those Venezuelans be freed in El Salvador? One of the things that, and I also want to look at, will the US Republic hold? I've already looked at that before. It's certainly held in 2020, those Trump's first term. Let's have a look if it'll hold in the second term. I think it will, although, as I've said, it'll be fairly damaged by the time we get to 2028, but nothing that can't be rebuilt, and maybe rebuilt better. That's the hope. So we'll look at that. Just a lot to look at. Anonymous came out, and I've been trying to find it on the internet. It's very hard to find. I think there's some censoring going on. Certainly, anyway, I couldn't find an anonymous threat that they have proof or some kind of proof that the 2024 election was stolen. Just can't find that anywhere. If someone wants to send me a link, we'll look at if they actually do have proof that perhaps Trump and Musk stole the election. All my past videos are there for you to see from November the 7th onwards, and my predictions prior to the election. I've always maintained that I will take the matter up in earnest once it goes to the courts. Okay, but we can look at the anonymous threat. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so where are we going first? We'll start with the anonymous threat. Thank you to those who reminded me that low-carb eating perhaps might help my joints. I was on keto for many, many years. Just a low-carb way of eating was a lifestyle for me. And I've gone back to that, and I've noticed less pain in my joints. So for me, whether it's gluten, giving up bread, or whether it's an intolerance to carbohydrates, I do better with low-carb eating. So thank you to those viewers that reminded me of that. All right, enough talking. I think it was important to catch up, just to catch up. So I'll put a timestamp in for when the tarot starts, which is at 14:45. Okay, lot to talk about this morning. A lot to connect with communicate over. All right, let's start with the anonymous threat. Let's have a look. Do they actually have? I know all the studies, all the investigations. I've looked at all that. You don't need to send me any links. I've seen all of that, including the bell curve and the data mining that shows anomalies. Does Anonymous have something other than this? Because that's already out there. Does Anonymous have real proof that Musk and Trump stole the 2024 election? What can you show me? Does Anonymous have real evidence that Trump and Musk stole the 2024 election? I'm seeing like something on, because it's glowing. It's like it's not a USB stick. Obviously, that's not what they have, but they have something on a hard drive or something on that is glowing amongst all the other hard drives. This one is glowing, so they've got something. I feel they have something. Does Anonymous have proof, hardcore proof, that the 2024 election was stolen by Musk and Trump? All right, so we have the Knight of Cups. So there's an appeal here, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles. I don't know. It's the Eight of Pentacles is the Apprentice card, gathering one's skills. The Knight of Cups is an appeal of some sort, or a gift of some sort, a gift of love. These could be young people as well within hackers or within Anonymous. We have loans and debts, a gift to people. Do they have communication between perhaps the Trump campaign, Trump Musk campaign, and Russia, for example? Is that what they have, rather than data being compromised? We have, or ballot counting being compromised. The Judgment card, it's in the past. It's an inevitability, an inevitability of change. And then we have Five of Cups, which is loss in the sky. It's the minor arcana card for the death, endings and beginnings. It points to foreign interference, I feel, more so than data stuff. Some sort of communication that they've picked up. The Four of Cups in the present, disappointment, but they do have something. They do have something I don't think we've seen, and the atmosphere is justice. Of course it would be. The World card, endings and beginnings in the hopes and fears. Of course, we hope that it would change the result, but is it? It's still only a hope. And then we have the Crossroads card as the outcome. The Crossroads card and the Queen of Wands, motivation, decision. There's a decision that has to be made here. The Lovers card, relationships, that's Trump's card, and then the Death card. Locked out, people being locked out, bombshells, circles of support, decisions having to be made, and then retreat. Here's what I'm going to say. I think that they have some sort of information about a foreign nation interfering in the American elections. That's what I think they have. Okay, is it enough to overturn the 2024 elections? Well, that's still in the hope basket. I don't see it as an actuality at this time yet, although I'm not ruling that out. Let's see what they've got. They're still deciding whether they release this. So I didn't ask, will they release it? Will Anonymous release this information? Just a couple of cards, please. Five of Swords, sabotage in the past, illusion and confusion, anxiety, money, and I think they are going to release it. They are going to release it, I think. Okay, there we have it. The Devil card coming up so often in anything relating to the Trump government. So Anonymous has, I feel, some sort of communication that may point to overseas interference in the 2024 election beyond what we already know. Okay, all right, let's take a look at, but is it enough? Is it enough to change the election result? I can't see that in my very close way of looking, or the it's in the immediate future. I don't see that forming yet. I see more. I don't know. I'm seeing the Four of Swords, which is retreat. Anyway, let's see how that pans out. As I said, will. You know, if it gets to the courts, when it gets to the courts, I just don't want to raise false hope, but I do feel they have something. I'll leave it at that. They have something relating to overseas election interference. All right, so let's have a look at AOC and Bernie Sanders. Wow, are they tapping into something, or are they tapping into something? AOC, show me your future, AOC. I mean, you know, the next step would be Senate, wouldn't it? But is she going to run in some capacity for a leadership position in 2028? I mean, is that what we're seeing? Show me AOC's future. What can you show me about AOC's future? All right. Oh, okay. So moderation. She's really building bridges with not just progressives, but everybody, and fighting the oligarchy. She's tapping into a vein in America that spans both parties and independents and libertarians who do not. This is an anti-oligarchy sentiment, and they want more centre, more moderation. That does not bode well for MAGA or the GOP in the midterms or in 2028. The Page of Cups, younger, she's rallying the younger people now around her. The King of Cups is in the past. That used to be my card for Biden. Obviously, his era is over. And there she is, Queen of Swords. Wow, these are good cards. She always gets good cards. This is part of the ending. Remember I said in my annual predictions it was the end of the oligarchy, and you all thought I meant end of democracy? No, this is bringing this wealth, this excess to a close. There's a new she embodies a brand new cycle in America. That's what AOC does. Okay, let me put on my other glove. The Magician card, manifestation. What is she manifesting? OMG. OMG, AOC. You have beautiful cards. You are here for this time. The King of Wands, getting people to step forward in their courage. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. There she is, the Queen of Wands, and it's a similar kind of motivation and passion that Harris was able to bring forward. And we have the King of Swords here and victory. Wow. She's playing a part. She's playing a part in 2028. And I still say that do not be surprised if she's a running mate. It would be, I think she will be someone's running mate. Okay. Wow. You saw the cards. Well, thank you to the orb that came down to validate that the Democratic Party rises. It is rising. Okay, so let's look at the US Republic under Donald Trump, Musk and Vance. Musk is, ever since I've started reading on him, showed financial decline, and we are seeing that play out. I also want to say that I predicted the government would shut down, but then they would walk. I predicted the education department that he would have an executive order shutting it down, but he'd walk it back. Do you know that all happened in a day? He signed an executive order to close it, and then within the same day, he'd rescinded it. But ultimately, he'll turn it into almost like a shop front, and I think he's on target to do something like that, unfortunately. Okay. It's a brand new era in 2028. I know this is hard to watch the destruction of your systems, but it is brand new in 2028, and a lot of opportunity to reform better, to reform and to build things in a stronger, more resilient way. It's a rebirth in 2028. All right, so will the US Republic hold? Trump has been warned by the highest judge in the land, John Roberts. Will the US Republic hold? You know, it's some people have gotten caught up in this. I don't know what it is. It's almost like an alien invasion of the country, but it's not. It's not an alien invasion of the country. But it's not a large enough portion, and Trump and Musk and Vance are acting as though they have a mandate, and they don't. And what you're seeing with GOP not being able to hold town halls, it's a reflection that they've overreached the mandate that they have, the mandate that it was nothing like what we're seeing now, and this is why they're getting so much blowback, and will continue to. Will the US Republic hold? Will the US Republic hold? So we have the Eight of Pentacles again. There's a lot of work being done for it to hold. There is also a lot of failing coming from them. This is the apprenticeship card. It's somebody that's still learning. And so this is a period, I feel, where it's like Trump eroded certain things in his first term. He's going to erode more things. But the overreach is so huge that he will destroy certain things, but it is an opportunity to build them back in a better way. We have it's manifestation, but it can also be manipulation as well. We have the young people coming forward in droves now. We have the truth in the past. In a way, the energy is, we are in a crisis yet, yes, but the underlying energy is almost, the outcome is almost the outcome of truth and exposure, and that truth comes forward in a way that allows everybody to see the corruption. That's already in the past, because it's already playing out now. The Four of Pentacles, we have holding back. That can be also standing one's ground, but it's like a moat, if you like. It's like an impenetrable fortress. We have the Victory card coming up in the immediate future. There's going to be a win here, one way or another. As I asked about, will the US Republic hold? I feel it's a win for the Republic. We have the High Court, or the courts in the frame here, the government. We have the Page of Swords chipping away at that. But again, I'm not seeing any big energies that would show it would fall. In the hopes and fears, we have loss, disappointment, but one cup is remaining. Yeah, this is a no card. This is it being damaged, but it's also retreat. It's also the retreat card. So let's see. So justice comes here. So here is what I think is going to happen. Let me just get rid of the messages so they're not beeping at an important time. So these are the outcome cards, and we'll pull one other. Yeah, she's going to hold. All right. So it's going to be wounded for sure. There's going to be damage done, but there's also retreat at some point. Because of why? Because of justice, because of the courts which are under attack, holding. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles coming in to stabilize. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. And then the Hermit card. This is a pushback at the end of the day against dictatorship and wealth, oligarchy corrupting the system. But as I've always seen, there's a lot of damage done. But we have justice. Will the Republic hold as the clarifier? Damage, but yes, and stability coming forward in 2028. So I don't see anything changing from my earlier predictions. There's certainly decisions and manipulation and threat and pressure, but we have the Queen of Swords here. We have crossroads, obviously, and we have people stepping forward with their courage to tackle what is being done right now. We have the King of Cups coming through, wisdom. We have unity. We have people coming back together. And so the energies of the future are much like the energies now. And in a way, the Ace of Swords being in the past there, in the previous readings, already shows the seeds. You can look very carefully to see the seeds of the future, and opportunities to reform due to the absolute overreach and destruction. Within Trump's soul is a seed of destruction. And at the end of the day, he will destroy himself as well. Okay, so let's look at these arrests at the border. This is stuff, people disappearing down to El Salvador who are innocent. They're not gang members. I mean, the arrest of Mr. Mahmoud Khalil, will these things be corrected? Are we going to see these things being corrected? Will Trump's actions lead to the Western world boycotting America in the short term? Will Trump's actions lead to... That's that Four of Swords. I keep seeing this. The energy is of wounded. This is also of retreat. And I like to see that. I think that's an energy. He's being wounded. His government's being wounded. He has retreated on certain things when the pushback has been so big. So will we see a boycott of the Trump government by the Western world? Will we see a boycott of the Trump government? I'm seeing both the Justice and Temperance cards by the Western world. Okay, so we have here being patient, and I like that too. We will be patient so that when America is ready, once this terrible, appalling era is finished, to come back and join us, we will. Being patient. 2 years, things change in 2 years. Guardrails hold. The guardrails hold, but we're battle weary. There's so much volatility, and we see Russia there. We see Mr. Vladimir Putin at the back of a lot of things. We have the High Priestess, she's in the past, things that needed to be exposed, secrets that were held, trying to change the world order, but they're bringing us closer together. So we have here the Ten of Swords in the sky crowning this reading. Everybody is, from Canada to Greenland to Panama to Australia, UK, Europe. It's a hard slog. We didn't really expect it to be so extreme. Right now we're confused, but we are making choices. As I said, Australia's military heads and Defence Minister joining with the UK, getting closer to Europe, directly updating and renewing and solidifying our defence pacts with the UK. The Five of Swords, sabotage. It's almost as if this was already designed by Russia and the MAGA leaders. And perhaps others. This was already designed to unfold like this. Three of Pentacles in the atmosphere realm. We're working hard to build something beyond Trump 2.0. There is my Temperance card, our moderation card. We have hope that America will return to us in 2028. The Four of Cups, disappointment, but one cup is remaining. The Ten of Pentacles, there's a lot of money now being committed to defence, and we start again. We start again different to what we were. This is a new path being trod, and we are now, it's almost like we have been in trance thinking that everything was going to be okay. We're waking up. We are pursuing our own victories in many ways. Now, here's what's going on in America, and it's happening very, very quickly. But this is also new defence partnerships are happening very, very quickly as well. I would hope that we would reach out at a state level to those governors that want to deal with us, that would be a next step. And maybe don't be surprised if you see governors moving outside of the current federal government to do deals with Canada, for example, or Australia, or that would be really nice to see. But in any case, 2028 will be waiting for you, and maybe even sooner, 2026. 2026, will the Democrats... It's going to be a fairly long reading, I'm sorry. Will the Democratic Party take the House? I've seen very slim margins that it would, but let's see if that energy has changed. Will the Democratic Party win the House of Congress? The House in Congress. Will the Democratic Party win the House in Congress in 2026? Will the Democratic Party win the House in 2026? Okay, sometimes the same cards are meant to come again. It's pretty clear to me what is already occurring in America at the moment. And yes, there are people from all parties coming together to ensure that there is a huge margin for the Democrats to take back the House in 2026. Okay, what will worry me is him then saying, well, it was a rigged election, or whatever he's going to say. But it seems in 2 years there's more stability in America, so I don't know. We'll unpack that later. All right, so elbows up, Canada. Oh dear, Mark Carney doing some really good stuff in Canada, getting states to trade with one another. Their domestic trading with, buying Canada first has increased sales of Canadian products by 10% already. He's really going, he's doing some good stuff. Mark Carney, he's just so against someone like poles apart from AOC, but they're here for the time. this economist, this gifted economist, world-renowned economist. It's here for the right time. So will Mr. Carney be PM, and how will he win? They've called an election for April. Will Carney win in April? Just a few cards. All right, so we have the Ten of Swords. It's an ending of something, and then we get real quick movement. We get similar sort of cards here. King of Cups in the past. We have this Four of Swords, a stepping back, and then we have the World card, endings and new beginnings. People are starting to look at things in a different way. And we see the Six of Pentacles, charity, helping people. We have the absolute motivation, the Ace of Swords in the hopes and fears, and then we have the Star card. Now, some people would say, oh, well, that's hope, isn't it? But no, he's given hope back. He will continue to give hope back to the Canadians. He is unifying Canadians. These are strong cards, strong outcome cards. Look at this. Had he not come along, had Trump not gone on about annexing, the Liberal Party would have been wiped out in Canada. As it is, the energy has changed, and it's changed really, really quickly. I'm confident in those cards that Carney will win, and he ushers in a new era for Canada. If you're not a fan of his, that's fine. Wait and see. Just wait and see. All right, this is getting quite long. Will the El Salvadorian... Let's change decks. I'm also getting low on battery. Will the Venezuelan, innocent Venezuelans who have been wrongly imprisoned in El Salvador be free? Will the innocent Venezuelans that have been wrongly imprisoned in El Salvador be freed? What can you show me? Now, the Temperance card flipped over while I was shuffling. Moderation and the Star card. They're going to be freed. I don't know how it happens. It's a sort of like a nationwide appeal, and yeah, they're going to be freed. This is also going to call into question the amateurishness of what Trump is doing. This is what worries me. With arresting people at the border from Germany, France, Canada, whoever. It's amateurish. It's Nazi-like, isn't it? It's Nazi-like. But to do that in a republic at this stage, the republic will hold. It's political suicide. It's economic suicide. It's all of those things. All right, one last one. For my own country, Australia. Will Albanese win the election? Will Anthony, the current Prime Minister of Australia, win the election? I've seen in the past the longer he leaves it, the greater his chance of winning. It's a very close election. Will Anthony Albanese win the Australian 2025 election? Will the Labor Party win the 2025 Australian election? The truth. We've seen the longer he left it, the greater the truth. Seven of Pentacles. So that's again Plan B. It's volatile with the Moon card. A lot of volatility. A lot of, in the past, a lot of headlines, news coming forward. We have the Four of Wands suggesting a reunification of something. We have greed and the devil showing up. So it's going to be an ugly campaign. We have the Four of Pentacles. The economy is in people's minds. We've got a federal budget, which is trying to address that. The Emperor card, control, the Prime Minister. We have the Three of Cups, unity coming together. And we have the Knight of Pentacles in the outcome. So they want stability. But we've got the Tower next to that. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So, and then the Voter. Voter look, it's the death card as I keep going on. The end of heartbreak, perhaps. We get isolationism. We get the Ten of Swords. As I keep going on, reflecting the current energies, I'm going to say that the cards that I drew, there is a shock here for the Albanese government. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is the shock. Well, his outcome card was they vote for stability. They don't want change. But we get the Tower card coming in, and then the Wheel of Fortune, and then the Voter. So the Tower card is a restructuring of something. Do independents in the Green Party get more votes than... there's some kind of difference that comes out after the election, even though they're voting for a stable government, and we get the potential being that he'll be able to form a government. There's some kind of shock there. At the same time, we have defending oneself. It's the economy, stupid as they say, choices, the people having to make the choices, and then him appealing to through this budget. I think this budget's going to do a lot of good, but it's a surprise. There's a surprise in his win in some way. Now that could be a good surprise. The Tower need not be that he gets less votes than before, and he still forms a government, but it's a minority government. It may be that he increases his vote, and the Tower is that. Let's wait and see. I can say, I think pretty confidently, after a fairly toxic, horrible campaign, that he is re-elected in the way that matters. And we are increasing our defence pacts with the Commonwealth, with Canada, with UK, with Europe. We're doing our damage control just as Americans are in their own country. And I do want to shout out to all Americans. I do want to say just that we stand here with you. And we are hoping for your speedy return to sanity, to compassion, to a government that displays stability, compassion and sanity, and that treads the more moderate healing road than an extreme autocratic oligarchical one. One card from my American viewers to finish this reading off. And we get Heart Love, the unconditional centre. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Bye for now.